The date is August 11, 2013, and this is Alfonso Soriano, starting left fielder for the New York Yankees. At this point in his career, he's 37 and nearing the end of his 16-year career. But over the next 7 games, he's going to go on a massive hitting tear that's pretty rare for his age and only something Barry Bonds could do in his prime. So let's take a look at what went on during that random week in August. He starts off his first game going 1 for 4 with a home run and 1 run batted in. He'll then take the day off with the bat going 0 for 3. But then he proceeds to go 3 for 6 with 2 home runs and 6 runs batted in, 3 for 3 with another 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in, 4 for 5 with 1 run batted in, 3 for 4 with a home run and 4 runs batted in, and then finally ends his hot streak going 2 for 4. In 7 games, Soriano goes 16 for 29, batting .552, 6 home runs and 19 runs batted in. Power isn't unknown to Soriano, as he ended his career with 412 home runs and 1,159 runs batted in. But what is crazy is that this 7-game stretch is only his second best stretch for home runs. Back in 2008 when Soriano was on the Cubs, from May 12th to May 18th, he went 16 for 31, batting .516, with 7 home runs and 14 runs batted in. 1 home run more than his 2013 streak, but 5 less runs batted in. In 2008, he was 32 years old, and in 2013, he's 37. Not only was the amount of runs Soriano batted in impressive, but also the age he did it at. Let's take a look at the best 6-game stretches for players over the age of 35. Who do we have at the top? Alfonso Soriano. Well, he's actually tied with Hall of Famer Earl Averill, who in the 1937 All-Star Game hit the ball at Dizzy Dean's toe. Averill fractured Dean's toe, which then caused him to change his arm mechanics and later injuring his arm. Leading up to the injury, Dean had won the MVP in 1934 and earned second place in the 1935 and 1936 vote. Dean was never the same, as he would be out of the league a few years later. He would go on to make the Hall of Fame and have a great post-playing career as a sports announcer. Anyway, back to Soriano. It is worth noting that such a performance over a 6-game stretch is incredibly uncommon for older players in the league. Not even the likes of Babe Ruth, Mark McGwire, Ty Cobb, or Barry Bonds are at the top of this list. Speaking of Barry Bonds, let's compare one of his best hitting stretches to Soriano's. He also had an insane 7-game stretch back in 2004, where from April 12th to April 20th, he went 13 for 18, batting .722, with 8 home runs and 16 runs batted in. Taking into account the man walked 11 times during this stretch. And also, Bonds was the ripe old age of 39 at the time. I think it's also noteworthy to talk about some of the team differences between the 2004 Giants and the 2013 Yankees. Record-wise, the Giants finished 9th overall, going 91-71, while the Yankees finished 15th overall, going 85-77. The Giants were miles ahead of the Yankees, at least when it came to batting. The Giants scored a lot of runs, coming in at 850, but their pitching was less than desirable, giving up 770. The Yankees, in contrast, struggled to score runs with a pedestrian 650, but also gave up way fewer, clocking in at 671. Now, the main stats we're comparing between Bonds and Soriano are home runs and runs batted in. Home runs can happen at any time regardless of what team you're on. Runs batted in can vary because of how good your team is at getting on base. In 2004, the Giants ranked 2nd in OPP at 357. The 2013 Yankees, on the other hand, were ranked 23rd in OPP at 307. It's worth noting what the two teams were like because your runs batted in chances are limited to who's on base when you're up to bat. Before Soriano would come up to bat, his chances for runs batted in were significantly lower than Bonds would have had. Now let's talk about the 2013 Yankees team as a whole. It's probably one of the worst teams on paper in Brian Cashman's tenure as GM. It was plagued by aging stars, injuries, and ineffective replacements. I mean, just look at their opening day and final game lineups. Hal Steinbrenner paid a total of $230 million for an 85-77 record. Injuries plagued the 2013 Yankees as the likes of Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Curtis Granderson, and Mark Teixeira all missed significant time due to injuries. In total, the 4 of them played a combined 137 games out of the possible 648. Soriano only played in 58 games for the Yankees down the stretch, yet he ranked well above most of the roster in offensive production. He was 2nd in home runs with 17, 4th in runs batted in with 50, tied for the 3rd most B-WAR with 2.1, and 4th in OPS at 850. By the end of the season, Soriano is one of the few bright spots on this team. Offensively, he provided a major boost, and they might not even finish above a 500 record as his team struggled to score runs consistently throughout the year. Mind you, he joined the Yankees via trade from the Cubs on July 26, playing at about replacement level baseball. And once he was traded, it was like he was playing as if his rent was due, putting up almost identical stats in home runs, runs batted in, with 35 less games played. After missing the playoffs in 2013 for the first time in nearly 20 years, Brian Cashman would go on to sign the names of Brian McCann, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carlos Beltran going into the 2014 season. Suddenly, Soriano was out of his starting job, and he was later DFA'd in July of that year. He retired at the end of the year with 16 seasons in the big leagues. Soriano finished with 2,095 hits, 412 home runs, 1,159 runs batted in, a 270 batting average, 819 OPS, and a 28.6 BWAR, and most of all, a legendary run of 7 games back in the summer of 2013.